Drew, on Wednesday I'm releasing a story that you're meeting a lawyer to divorce Stacy. Can you confirm this?
No comment.
No denial either?
No, nothing.
When I interviewed you for Drew Peterson Exposed, you mentioned that you would seek a divorce on the 1-year anniversary. You mentioned it was important to move out of Bolingbrook.
I might have said that.
I have a confirmation that you have an appointment with a high-profile lawyer.
No?
He specializes in pre- and post-divorce proceedings.
Yes.
You're seeing him about a divorce.
I'm just giving some information right now and exploring options.
On what basis? You said she's a runaway, that she's alive?
A desertion. She deserted me. I've always said that I'm mad about that, but I'm looking into this for the kids. This neighborhood is not healthy for my kids because of sharing the house.
So it's about selling the house and moving away?
Okay.
Meaning you don't expect her to return?
Why would she return to us?
So you'll sell the house?
Okay.
What about the marital assets?
Okay.
How far away would you move? You mentioned Kentucky and California in my previous interviews with you for Drew Peterson Exposed.
Out of the neighborhood, important for the kids. Some of the people around here are nuts.
So Kentucky sounds good?
Anywhere sounds good.
Do you expect a not guilty verdict? I released some information to the media on your mock trial for the gun trial. The 5 found you guilty.
13 said not guilty.
So then you'll be free to move out of Illinois if you're found not guilty.
Okay.
Do you think the story of this divorce might encourage Stacy to contact you?
I have nothing more to say.
Well, what about the rumors that the state's attorney is getting ready to indict for homicide on one of your wives?
Yeah, I told you nothing to say.
Okay, he's facing felony gun charges and a possible homicide charge, and he says the neighbors are the nuts, so he's got to move away from them. Okay, that's former cop turned suspect in his wife's disappearance, Drew Peterson. You heard him speaking with Derek Armstrong, the author of Drew Peterson Exposed. A pretty telling expose of Drew Peterson. And with me tonight is Derek Armstrong. He's seeking a divorce, it's apparent. Why? So he can liquidate all the assets and get out of Dodge?
Absolutely, Nancy. That seems to be the case.
And I guess the police are just going to twiddle their thumbs and let it happen?
Well, he seems to think that they're always twiddling their thumbs, I think.
On what grounds could he actually divorce Stacy Peterson? I guess he'll show her and divorce her without her being there.
Yes, under Illinois law, according to my research, he can apply under desertion. He's claiming she ran away, that she hasn't been around for a year. I think you have to wait a year.
What can you tell us about a mock jury that was created at the University of Illinois regarding the pending gun charge?
I obtained some documents on the mock trial they had 18 jurors who were paid, I think, $50 each. And I obtained the questionnaires afterwards, which indicated their verdicts and what they believed, how they believed the defense did on the presentation and also the prosecution.
And what was their verdict?
5 found him guilty, 13 not guilty. All of them said they were not swayed by his involvement, or pardon me, the investigation on his wife, and that they were solely basing their verdicts on the case presented, which was vindictive prosecution as a defense.
With me is Derek Armstrong, the author of Drew Peterson Exposed. Kathy Cheney with the Chicago Defender. Quickly, what more can you tell me?
Pretty much just as Derek said, that you do have to wait about a year for abandonment in order for you to try to file for divorce. He had said previously that, he was looking to move away, but, he can't do that right now. And Stacy's name is on some of the property, including the house, so that would be impossible for him to do with her still around, with him still married. So right now it does point that he is looking to get a divorce.
Let's unleash lawyers Susan Moss, Jason Oceans, both out of New York, Joe Lawless out of Philadelphia. Susan Moss, what do you think?
Giving this guy a divorce is like giving Hannibal Lecter steak sauce. But there is some good news, because in Illinois, there's very broad discovery rules. So if he wants to go and claim desertion, that's going to open up depositions, all types of discovery instruments to find out what happened to Stacy.
What about it, Joe Lawless?
My question would be, who would take the discovery? If she's abandoned, they're going to file an affidavit that they tried to serve her, couldn't find her. There's no one representing Stacy. I think he gets a divorce unless the judge wants to stay it pending the murder investigation.
Well, Jason Oceans, what would happen with her share of all the assets?
Well, depending upon if there's a will or not, an administrator can be appointed for her assets, and they could be distributed either to the children or whoever's named in the will. If there's no
She has to
will,
be declared dead.
yeah, it's going. Well,
But if the children get her share of the assets, he'll get his mitts on it.
yeah, they're going to declare her dead one way or the other, either through the murder investigation or by a civil finding based on the abandonment.
To Derek Armstrong, who wrote Drew Peterson Exposed, do you truly believe that murder charges are coming down?
I actually do believe in the case of Kathleen Savio that there's an indictment coming down. I have no evidence of that. It's just that the hearsay law in Illinois would apply more to that case.
And the legislature has changed the hearsay law, and how will that, in a nutshell, help prosecutors that are prosecuting Drew Peterson?
I believe because of a couple pieces of the hearsay. One was Kathleen Savio's letter indicating that if something happened to her, that Drew did it. And the other would be Pastor Scory's hearsay testimony that Stacy told him that Drew had killed Kathleen.
To Brian Rice, do you find it suspicious that he wants a divorce?
Yeah, I certainly do. I mean, if your spouse ran off and left you, you would think you want to, cherish that memory and not end it and not have it final. So if I was investigating this crime, I would definitely find that suspicious and want to put a lot more efforts into it.
That hearsay rule about to pass the Illinois House, it is expected to pass. And very quickly to Dr. Janet Taylor, psychiatrist, what do you make of him being so audacious as to seek a divorce when he's suspected of killing her?
Well, clearly in his mind, either she's gone or not coming back. And I think, again, it seems like he's just not thinking about the children. They've had a major loss, and now even if he files for divorce, you know how traumatic that is to a family. So he's got to think about the welfare of his kids.